What happens if sharks become much smarter than humans? One billionaire decided to test this and secretly raised super predators with incredible intelligence in the open ocean. Let's find out what happened next. Two poaching fishermen are trying to catch a shark by hooking it with their hunchback. They manage to catch the predator and even cut off its fin. Poachers are very pleased with themselves and take selfies as a keepsake. A Coast Guard message is being played on the radio, demanding that they leave the danger zone immediately. Someone nearby is firing a flare into the sky. The poachers decide to ignore the danger warning and continue fishing. Suddenly, the boat starts shaking from the impacts. Several sharks appear around the boat. Poachers see the fins and are both happy and worried at the same time. There are more and more sharks. One fisherman falls overboard. The water next to him turns red. The same thing happens with the second fisherman. A boat arrives at the abandoned fishing boat, but there is no one on board. A man in a boat sees that sharks are approaching him and presses a button on a special keychain. At the same moment, the sharks turn around and stop chasing. Famous shark advocate Misty can scuba diving in the middle of the depths of the sea. She examines turtles, various fish, and other marine life. Soon she takes part in a conference and talks about sharks. Misty is sure that their aggressiveness and danger are greatly exaggerated. In fact, white sharks are completely harmless if they are not touched or offended. But bull sharks are really very dangerous. The boat with the same man we saw at the beginning of the film is approaching the Aquarium platform. He tells his partner that 5 sharks have escaped, and they urgently need to be caught. Meanwhile, Misty finishes her report. A well-known pharmacologist, Mr. Burns, approaches her. He invites Misty to the underwater station Aquarium. Billionaire Darl Durant will talk to her there. For this meeting, the girl will receive $50,000. In addition, Durant will fund her institute for 5 years. 2 employees are trying to figure out how 5 sharks could escape from the laboratory. They study the surveillance footage and see that someone has built a tunnel for the sharks. Could it really have been done by the predators themselves? Misty Calhoun arrives on shore. Mr. Burns introduces her to a young married couple. This is Daniel and Leslie Kim. They are neuroscientists and neuropsychologists. They were also offered a lot of money for cooperation with billionaire Durant. However, none of them knows what they have to do. Despite this, they all go to Aquarium Station. There are several employees working there. Trent, Mike, Josh, and Aaron. They get to know our characters and talk about their work. Turns out that there are 5 bull sharks swimming in huge aquariums. Billionaire Carl Durant appears in the room. Misty irritably asks why he keeps such dangerous predators here. To impress his guests, Durant arranges a small demonstration. He throws his technician Aaron into the water, and the sharks immediately approach him. Misty rushes into the water to help the poor man. The sharks are already very close. But at the last moment, Durant presses a button on the remote control and drives the sharks away. Misty gets out of the water and repeats again that bull sharks cannot be tamed. Durant promises to show the girl even more tricks. Late at night, Misty goes to the lab on her own. She looks thoughtfully at the sharks in the aquarium. Durant enters his cabin and looks with interest at 5 small vials of red liquid. He shakes one of them, opens it, and greedily drinks its contents. At the same time, he becomes incredibly smart. Smarter than Einstein. Durant learns that 5 sharks made a dig under the fence, escaped, attacked the fishermen, and returned back. The man says that the sharks are alive as long as it suits him, and then they will be euthanized, all the evidence will be destroyed, and no evidence will remain. When Durant is alone, he hides a chain with some kind of key around his neck. Leslie and Daniel are arguing because Durant's work does not look honest and correct from the point of view of science. Leslie believes that Daniel is only interested in money, but the moral side of her work is important to her. However, they both decide to stay at the station. Misty, Leslie, and Daniel come to Durant's lab. The billionaire tells them about his project. It turns out that 5 bull sharks were genetically modified. They've become smarter, faster, and more unpredictable. Each of these sharks has a special artificial intelligence implant. Durant demands his assistance to show his guests a shark named Bella. She looks perfectly healthy. Durant boasts that if his experiments on sharks are successful, then the same implants can be implanted in humans and also make them incredibly smart. Misty finds out that Durant himself is taking an intelligence-enhancing drug. The girl is sure that it must have dangerous side effects. Durant admits that Bella has been acting strangely lately. Misty says this shark is pregnant. This seems impossible because according to all tests, the shark must be sterile. But maybe because of a gene mutation, everything has changed. One of the sharks pushes a motorboat towards a large transformer. A fuel leak begins. If the fuel gets on the electric shark fence, disaster will happen. One of the technicians takes several tests from the shark. Suddenly she wakes up and tries to bite him. The man miraculously manages to escape. A few seconds later, a powerful explosion is heard. An emergency situation is being announced at the station. A part of the electric fence stops working. The ceiling is broken, and some compartments are starting to fill with water. Soon, all surveillance cameras are turned off. Security systems also stop working. Meanwhile, Misty looks out one of the portholes and notices that Bella has already given birth. A flock of small sharks, similar to predatory piranhas, swims next to her. They are genetically modified, very strong, vicious, and hungry. They're also damn smart. Leslie and Daniel want to leave the station, but there is a problem. All exits are flooded. Besides, there are sharks swimming nearby. Trent reminds me that they are very vindictive, but the only way out was through a drainage tunnel. Misty says she's going to swim alone to save everyone else. But Micah gets over her and swims away first. People anxiously look out the porthole and see sharks attacking Mike. Trent dives in after his friend and tries to pull him out. He barely manages to do it. Mike is not breathing, so Misty gives him artificial respiration. The man regains consciousness, but a second later a shark jumps out of the pool and drags him to the depths. Durant recalls that his invention should help humanity maintain leadership on Earth. But it doesn't matter anymore. The main thing is just to survive. The pressure increases, another explosion occurs, and all the partitions at the station collapse. The water begins to flood Achilleos. Misty manages to close the hatch. She and Trent end up in an isolated compartment with half-submerged water. Fortunately, not the entire station has been flooded yet. And one more piece of good news. There are no sharks here yet. Aaron and Josh make their way through a flooded hallway, while Daniel and Leslie lose each other. The girl loses consciousness. Durant is also wandering through one of the corridors. At the same time, he takes another check with his miracle drug. It seems that the billionaire wants to become even smarter. Misty notices Durant and asks where the rest of the station staff is. But no one knows that. Durant suggests getting out through the ventilation shaft. Daniel searches the flooded hallway for Leslie, but he is attacked by a pack of small sharks. They grew up quickly and became too aggressive. And, of course, they are also very smart. Daniel climbs onto one of the metal corpses and miraculously escapes from the predators. Josh and Aaron continue their journey through the flooded hallway. Soon they are overtaken by small sharks. Josh turns into the first meal for predators. But Aaron manages to escape by using the mattress as a raft. Misty, Trent, and Durant reach the ventilation shaft. Misty hears Daniel's voice and wants to find him. Durant unexpectedly locks the doors to the mine, leaving Misty inside. Trent knocks Durant out, but he can't open the door. He promises that he will find help and save Misty. Aaron floats through flooded corridors on a mattress. Trent accuses Durant of being crazy and willing to sacrifice the lives of many people for his ideas. Leslie wakes up and calls Daniel. A man finally finds his wife and sees her being attacked by small sharks. Daniel can do nothing to help his beloved, as he is behind glass in a locked compartment. Misty is trying to get out of a locked ventilation shaft. She wanders through the flooded compartments with a flashlight in her hands. Durant and Trent climb outside and try to call the rescue service. A pack of small sharks attacks Aaron. He barely escapes and finds Daniel. The man is desperate and does not want to live without his wife. but Aaron convinces him to keep fighting. They find Misty and open the mine doors together. Daniel and Aaron go upstairs, and Misty notices the sharks behind them and decides to stop them. She uses a stun gun to do this. The sharks don't like it and they swim away. The water level is rising rapidly. Trent wants to take the key away from Durant, but the billionaire gives it back voluntarily. Trent returns for the survivors, but only saves Aaron, as Daniel is being chased by small sharks. Misty not only drives off predators, but also manages to find a wetsuit and swim to the surface in it. She notices Durant and swims towards him. She is immediately chased by several sharks, but the girl manages to rise to the surface. The girl rushes at Durant and calls him a devil and a psychopath. A Coast Guard drone appears nearby, but it doesn't fly for long because of the sharks. The station is almost flooded. Soon everything here will go underwater. It is urgently necessary to move to a motorboat, but for this it is necessary to swim a short distance near the sharks. Bella catches up with Durant. He screams in desperation and tries to stop the predator, but Bella drags him under the water. It looks like this billionaire's experiment is over. Misty and Trent get to the boat and start the engine. Using a rocket launcher, they shoot down one of the sharks that is blocking their path. Suddenly, Aaron appears and jumps on board. He says that for some reason the sharks decided not to eat him, and only 3 people were saved. Trent says it's a secret project and they have to destroy all the evidence. To prevent the sharks from escaping into the open ocean, the men use a key and activate the station's self-destruct mechanism. The wreckage of the station goes under the water, and the survivors swim away in their motorboat. 3 weeks pass. A group of surfers is riding on a beach in California. Suddenly, 2 of them are attacked by a shark with toddlers. This is Bella.